They are one of the most fearsome creatures on the planet. And Asia is the hotspot where you are most likely to get bitten. But which are the deadliest? And should we be truly afraid? International venom doctor Brian Fry comes face-to-face on a mission to discover the killer cocktail of venom and violence needed for the crown of Asia's deadliest snake.
This is a snake you would not want to get bit by.
From vipers and sea kraits, cobras and coral snakes.
Ow!
Which one has the opportunity to be the perfect killer?
If you did get bitten by one of these, you're dying screaming.
Knowing the answer may one day save your life. Brian Fry is one of the world's leading venom experts. Where most of us would flee, he deliberately seeks out danger.
What a little beauty!
He studies scorpions, jellyfish, and dragons. But his passion is one of nature's most lethal reptiles, snakes.
In Asia, it's estimated over 100,000 people a year die of snake bites. But which among the continent snakes are directly responsible? How do they kill, and what can we do about it? To find out, I'm going across Asia to track down and rate its deadliest snakes. To determine the ultimate killers, I'll be considering several key factors: opportunity, aggressiveness, strike ability, the potency of their venom. My first candidate is the reticulated python. It's the longest and one of the world's most powerful snakes. It kills mainly by suffocating prey in a death grip. This enables it to take on animals larger than themselves, possibly even humans. So does the python's size and power really make it the ultimate killer? Does it have the opportunity? Reticulated pythons can be found throughout Southeast Asia. Some of the largest are reportedly found in Indonesia. I've traveled to the island of Bali in the heart of the country, where I find pythons living amongst human population. This certainly gives it the opportunity to be deadly. As everywhere in Asia, snakes and people are in close proximity, particularly in a ravine like this, which is a perfect spot for a python. There's lots of vegetation, there's nice deep caves. Now, could a child be taken by a python? Possibly. Not a small one like this. This one's only about 12, 13 feet. A big one, a 25, 28 footer, certainly could take and eat a child. There have been reports of this, but they're very rare and they're very difficult to substantiate. So it seems that opportunity hasn't made pythons deadly to us. What about its large size and power? Reticulated pythons can grow to a record-breaking 30 feet or so. Such a big snake can be much more of a handful than the one I saw by the river. But they're rare these days. European demand for their skins alone sees some hundreds of thousands killed per year. These days, the only sure place to find a big one is in the zoo. He's a little bit grumpy today. I would love to see one this big in the wild, but most of the ones that we're going to find on this island are going to be much smaller, probably around 3 to 4 meters or 12 to 14 feet. Ones this big, you'd have to go to some of the islands like Sumatra to still find ones like this. Obviously, the python has the aggression to be a threat, but the danger of facing a big one is slim. But what about its mythical ability to constrict and swallow a human being whole? Ron Lilly, aka the Snake Man of Bali, is frequently called out to catch threatening pythons. Eleanor Carter called him when she discovered a serial cat killer in her house.
It was about 4:30 a.m., I think, and I found the snake stretched across my dining room floor, staring at my two full-grown cats who seemed to be quite mesmerized by the python and about to become breakfast.
A month earlier, one of the neighbor's cats was not so lucky and was found constricted before the snake was chased away. This X-ray shows what the cat could have looked like if the python had the chance to swallow it. It's clear that the bones aren't broken, just squeezed. Without breaking any bones, it seems unlikely that even the largest python could make an adult human fit.
Gotcha.
In Bali, I discovered that, by and large, people got on with pythons. There's even a meeting of snake enthusiasts every Sunday where the public is invited to get to know the snakes. Some pythons are even placid enough to be held by children. It's fascinating that each individual has a different temperament, just like us. All in all, pythons are really only at the beginning of our deadly scale. That's because, although they have the size, crushing ability, and opportunity, they rarely attack people. And they lack a key chemical weapon that some snakes have perfected: venom. What makes a snake venom so deadly is a unique cocktail of toxins found in it. There are three main kinds of components. Hemotoxins cause blood clots and unstoppable bleeding. You could bleed to death or even have heart failure. Cytotoxins destroy flesh, which is why some people have amputations after being bitten. Neurotoxins attack the nervous system. Like nerve agents in chemical warfare, they stop breathing through lethal paralysis. Snakes combine these different types of toxins in deadly combinations, aimed to incapacitate a victim long enough so they can be eaten. So for the rest of my search for Asia's deadliest snake, I'm looking for candidates whose venom is toxic enough and delivered in large enough amounts to kill a human being. Like a murder detective, I'll also look out for other deadly clues, like a suspect's aggressiveness, opportunity, and the means to strike in one deadly blow. My search for Asia's deadliest snake leads me to the mangroves of Kedah in northern Malaysia. There's a potential candidate here that has venom as toxic as a cobra's. We're working the edge of the riverbanks here, and it's a particularly good spot for a lot of venomous snakes. The snake I'm really looking for is proving rather elusive. Just when I was about to give up my current location, I hit pay dirt.
Oh, it's a big one!
The mangrove snake. It's highly adaptable, a voracious predator, and has seriously potent venom. But is it deadly enough to kill a human being? They've got their fangs sitting in the very back here, and then they chew the venom in rather than injecting it through the syringes like a cobra or a viper would. These snakes have venom as potent as a cobra's, but they don't have very much of it, and it's delivered much less efficiently to humans. What they do is they live at the edge of the branches and wait for birds. And because of that, their venom has been evolutionarily selected to be much more potent on birds than it is on mammals. I've had several bites by this kind of snake, and what they do is they give you a splitting headache, and they can affect your balance a little bit, makes you a bit giddy. So if I want to find Asia's deadliest snake, I'm going to have to look elsewhere. My deadly quest leads me further into Malaysia, to a famous Taoist temple on the island of Penang. Aptly called the Snake Temple, it was established over 190 years ago at a time when there was only jungle around it. There's a member of the congregation here armed not just with a venom that can cause heart failure, but with another formidable weapon. The Temple Viper. It so enjoyed the shelter given by the Snake Temple that it's made it its permanent home. Besides its toxic venom, part of the Temple Viper's deadliness is due to the surveillance intelligence it gains from the two special pits on either side of its nose. They're sensitive organs that detect heat. Many vipers have pit organs that give them an amazing heat sense. This blue balloon is full of cold water, and although it's put right in front of the snake, it won't strike at it. This red balloon is full of warm water. Like a soccer replay, we can only see it properly when slowed down 20 times in this special camera. But is the Temple Viper's heat-sensing ability and toxic venom deadly to the Snake Temple visitors? To find out, I seek out the temple's chief custodian, Limeng Sun. So have tourists ever been bitten here?
Yes. Previously, there was no sign because twice tourists got bitten by the snake when it touched.
Okay.
That's why we put up the sign.
And what happened to them?
They went to the hospital.
Okay. And they were okay?
Yeah, okay.
Did they lose their finger? or-
No.
You might not die, but you'd be in so much pain you'd wish you would die just to end it. Just kill me. So even with its deadly abilities, it seems that the Temple Viper may not be a man killer. The only way to be absolutely certain is to see it feed. I head deeper into Penang's southern jungles to find a site that's rumored to be a mecca for Temple Vipers. This is a World War II bunker system set into the middle of the Malaysian jungle, and it's remarkable habitat for deadly snakes because you have pristine environment over here, but then you've got lots of artificial structure that provides cool areas for the snakes to hide in. This bunker complex was built by the British for Malaysia's defense in the late 1930s. Somewhere in this maze should be rooms that are just to the liking of the Temple Vipers. The perfect place to find it feeding. Oh, how cool is this? There's 9 snakes just in this one room, and they're not trapped, there's openings. Here's a really nice female Temple Viper. During the day, they'll just be sitting on the branches, just quite content. So you might say that the Temple Viper preys at night. And it's in these conditions that the Viper's special heat sense excels. Without lights, these roosting birds would be invisible. But with its temperature-sensitive pits, the Temple Viper can see them just as clearly as our thermal camera. Flighty birds require patient stalking, but the Temple Viper also feeds on mice. The Temple Viper's venom causes blood clotting and heart failure. It's strong enough to knock out this rodent within just a few seconds. Hot-blooded mammal and cold-blooded killer are seen clearly contrasted. How cool is that? He's using those very long fangs to just walk along the mouse, swallowing it head first. She's trying to figure out what I am because I'm a huge heat signature to her. I just want to stay nice and calm so she doesn't think that I'm a predator. So, where does the Temple Viper fit in the scales of deadliness? It has large forward-mounted fangs that could penetrate deep into human flesh. Its blood-curdling venom causes clots and internal bleeding with a screamingly painful bite. But because it releases only a moderate amount of venom and is geared towards prey like tiny rodents and birds, it will affect your breathing, but probably won't kill you, unless you had a weak heart. In fact, extracts of Temple Viper venom containing neurotoxins are being used in anti-wrinkle cream. some of Asia's deadliest snakes are found not on land, but at sea. I'm continuing my journey to southern Indonesia to find a particularly beautiful but highly venomous species. I've found that standing on my head, looking into cracks, is the best way to catch up with this snake. This is a banded sea crate. It has tiny fangs, but is armed with neurotoxic venom more powerful than a cobra's. We know it's deadly to humans because fishermen have been killed removing them from nets. The sea crate hunts for fish around coral reefs. Its venom is so fast-acting and deadly to us because it must instantly immobilize its prey, otherwise the fish will just swim off. With scuba sports becoming more popular, do divers fear these snakes? Well, there's only one way to find out.
Ow!
Dive tourist Monty Sarongan from Jakarta kindly volunteers to get up close and personal with the banded sea crate I've just caught.
They're sweethearts. They're nice.
Come on, they're not sweetheart. I dive more than 1,000 dives, but I always avoid this thing.
They're very nicely tempered. See, they're not even trying to bite.
Oh, God.
So is this the first time you've ever held a snake?
Yes, it's the first time.
Last time?
No, don't say that.
I didn't mean it that way.
Oh,
You know anything about their venom? Do you know how their venom works? It paralyzes your ability to breathe.
Okay.
So you can't inflate your lungs. As a diver, you'd of course know all about the importance of air. So the way that these kill is that they paralyze your ability to breathe. But that's what they do to the fish, that they paralyze the fish gills as well as the fish muscles.
Okay.
And then they swallow. There are bites on record, but they're very, very rare. But usually it's the person's fault. They're trying to kill the snake, and the snake is just trying to defend themselves. It's not that they can't kill you, it's just that they have such a nice temper that they don't want to bite. But if you did get bitten by one of these, you would be in real trouble.
Yeah.
How's your heart?
My God, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's very remarkable experience, you know.
Go have a beer.
The banded sea crate has another deadly trick up its sleeve. It can come back onto land. In fact, it has to in order to breed. This puts it in direct contact with people, giving it the opportunity to kill. But oddly, deaths are rare on this beach in Bali. In fact, banded sea crates here are not feared, but worshipped. In the Bali Hindu religion, the sea kites have a central place. One of the kings has a sea kite as a belt. And it's of no coincidence that you find them in places like this. This is a perfect place for a sea kite. Unlike the true sea snakes, they have to return to the land. This dramatically increases the likelihood of human contact. Yet despite the fact that hundreds, if not thousands of people every single day in Bali encounter these snakes, bites are almost unheard of and deaths are even rare. That's because they have such a sweet, gentle personality. And it's a good illustration how the concept of deadliness has to include the relative personality of the animal itself.